What is going on, beautiful people? I am Lee Hammett, the diagnosed self-aware narcissist known as mental illness, and welcome to another episode of A Narcissist Explains. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about one of the main reasons why narcissistic people, toxic people, might ruin trips and or vacations. When they get away from the house, they start acting funny. Stay tuned for more. Like and subscribe for more mental illness. Thank you. So if you've ever been on vacation or a trip with a narcissist or a toxic person, you will understand that they like to ruin those trips or vacations. And of course, if you're new here, I'm a narcissist, actually a narcissistic personality disorder. One possible reason that a lot of narcissists and toxic people will ruin trips and vacations is because they are away from home. Typically, narcissistic people view home as a safe place for them to be themselves, for them to take the mask off and be who they need to be. So if you're taking them away from their house, away from their safe place, they feel uncomfortable, they feel insecure, they feel all the fear and the paranoia kicks in sometimes and causes them to act outrageous, causes them to give you the silent treatment on a road trip or something like that, to rage out on you on the beach or on a vacation. Even if you're just going to hang out with your friends and family that live out of town, they're still away from home, y'all. Narcissistic people typically don't feel comfortable away from home, so they tend to act out. Having a good trip or a good vacation with a narcissistic person is a rarity. It does happen, but it's a rarity, y'all. So, not everybody's going to agree with this, y'all. And no, I do not speak for all narcissists. I feel like I keep having to say that because people just automatically assume that I'm talking about every single narcissistic person on the planet, which goose fraba. People are annoying, y'all. But still, why do narcissists ruin trips and vacations and things of that nature? But one of the reasons why is because this is my top of my head. One of the reasons why narcissists don't like going on trips and ruin trips and vacations is because away from home is not a safe place. Away from home, like home is a safe place for the narcissistic person, toxic person, whoever you're dealing with, to be themselves. They can be themselves while they're at home with you. They can be themselves while they're living with you, while they're under the same roof. They can come out, like they can go out in the world and put on the mask and whatnot. But when they come home, they get to actually be themselves. Home is the quote unquote safe place, the safe space for a lot of narcissists and toxic people to become who they actually are. You know what I mean? To be who they actually are. So if I'm going away from home, that means I'm leaving my safe place. I mean, it means I'm leaving my bubble of toxicity, for lack of a better word. So if I'm leaving this bubble, that means that I need to feel safe somewhere else. You see what I'm saying? If I'm leaving this bubble, I'm uncomfortable. So the second that, I feel like we're leaving this bubble, I get angry, I get upset, I'm anxious, and I take that anxiety, I take that frustration, and I take that anger out on the person that I'm with, the person that I'm experiencing, the person that I'm living with or dealing with in this situation. You know what I mean? My partner, my intimate partner, my kids, whoever is going on this vacation with me or this trip with me is going to get the brunt of me feeling unsafe, of me feeling anxious and things of that nature. That's one reason. That's one of the main reasons why I think the narcissists ruin trips, because they don't feel safe. Like they'll give you and they might start the trip off being fun if it's a road trip or you're on a plane. They might start it off as being fine, but if one minor, it doesn't even have to be major. It can be one minor thing goes wrong on the trip, all hell's gonna break loose. It's just like you might as well have blew the trip up, and they don't care about wasting money. They don't care about wasting time. That'll spin around and be your fault as well. Somehow, some way, shape, or form, they will actually end up being your fault as well. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the dynamic that a lot of people experience when you're dealing with narcissistic people. That's just how it goes right there. Like you'll see it happening over and over and over and over again because it's a repeat. I know some people will be in the comment sections talking about vacations and trips. They're like, I didn't have a good trip. I didn't have a good trip in 10 years. Will the next one be okay? Like, you had a 10-year streak of having bad trips. Why? What do you think? What has changed now? What do you think has changed now in the situation that means you're going to have a good trip now? What's going to make this next trip better? You know what I mean? What have you said to yourself to convince yourself that the next trip is somehow, some way, shape, or form going to be better than the previous 10 years of trips? You know what I mean? And they say, like, you can start out, the first few trips might be good with a narcissistic person. The first few road trips might be amazing. It might get you sold. But once they feel like they have you locked in, and once they feel like they can emotionally discard you, then they might dip on you. They might bounce on you in situations like that. They might be like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done being nice on these trips. I'm done being amenable on these trips. I'm done being cooperative on these trips and whatnot. So you see a lot of times in people in these dynamics that they do this type of stuff right there. You know what I mean? You lose a charger, trip ruin, silent treatment, narcissistic rage. You say, hey, you smiled at a waiter or a waitress, trip ruin, narcissistic toxic rage. Or they'll give you the silent treatment. Imagine going on a trip with somebody out of the country and sometimes, this can happen on your honeymoon. This can happen at a graduation. This can happen at a funeral. It does not matter. It does not matter the reason behind the trip, unless you're taking them back somewhere where they've had a negative experience. You see what I'm saying? If they've had negative experiences here before, then they can make sense as to why they don't want to go. But if they haven't had a negative experience or they just continue to act like this, you might want to not invite them, y'all. But I know that's tough because this is one of the situations, kind of a damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you don't invite them on a trip, they're going to be mad as hell. But if you do invite them on a trip, they're going to ruin the trip. They're going to make the trip all about them. If it's a celebration, another reason that some narcissists will ruin trips is because the trip is celebrating somebody else. If it's a trip for somebody else's graduation or somebody else's marriage or somebody else's success or somebody else doing something great in their life, that narcissistic person could be jealous of them. And don't let jealousy, look, y'all, jealousy travels. Jealousy will go to the reaches of the earth to be met. That's why I tell people all the time, like, narcissists don't want it. Like, you take it, my sister's graduating from college today. We're going to go to her graduation. Ruin the graduation. You crying about the graduation. And sometimes, y'all, they'll cancel the trip right before you go because they don't want to leave the safe place or they don't want to go celebrate with somebody else. They'll cancel the trip right before you go, or they'll refuse to go and make you waste money and then blame you for planning the trip. Y'all, like I said, this is my reason behind it right here, y'all. And this is one reason why I used to ruin trips and vacations. I just didn't feel comfortable. I'm not home right now. I'm not safe right now. Or I'll be going to celebrate somebody else. I didn't want to go celebrate somebody else. I'm like, I don't want to celebrate these people. But that's how my mind would work. I wouldn't feel safe on the road or on the plane or on the trip, on a boat. But cruise, wherever it was, in the middle of the ocean on the cruise, ruining the trip because I wasn't home. I couldn't wait to be home. I would rather be home and be mad than to be on a trip and be mad like that. You know what I mean? But that's the relationship dynamic that you face when you're dealing with narcissists, y'all. Not every narcissist is going to ruin trips. Sometimes the trip is the only time you get to have fun with the person. They kind of let loose and things of their nature. But a lot of times people are going to have these same experiences. Like it continuously gets ruined over and over and over and over again. And what are you telling yourself that what are you putting into your mind that makes you think things are going to change and be different this time? That's why I be wondering sometimes. I know people just like, okay, this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to make this happen this way. But what are you telling yourself that makes you think it's going to be different this time around than it was previously? Do you know what I mean? That's what this is like, y'all. If they ruin the first couple of trips, they're going to ruin the next ones. Keep ruining them the trips. Like when you start adding kids to it, they're going to ruin the trip for the kids. The kids are going to hate going on vacation with the mom or dad who consistently ruins trips, or the uncle or the aunt that consistently ruins trips, or the grandma or grandpa that consistently ruins trips because they don't want to leave the house. They rather sit and be home and ruin a vacation. And sometimes they'll refuse to go and let you go on a trip by yourself, and they'll cheat on you. That's one reason they won't go on trips or ruin trips. They don't want to go with you. They don't have some free time to themselves. So they'll manufacture an argument or fussing and a fighting or refuse to go, and then you'll go by yourself and they'll just cheat on you. Not every situation is going to be the same. Like I feel like I have to repeat this over and over and over and over again. Not every situation is going to be the same. So before the other narcissists come out here and start whining and complaining, well, Lee, you don't speak for all of us. I said that in the beginning. Y'all just y'all make my head spin, y'all. Some of these self-aware narcissists are just the whiniest, complainingest. But that's just it's expected when you're dealing with narcissists. Why don't I expect this? I should expect it more, shouldn't I? I should expect it more, but my mind just goes to other places, y'all. But I hope this brought you some clarity. I hope this brought you some peace. I hope this brought some understanding to you to help you understand what you're going through when you deal with toxic narcissistic people on trips and things like that. Home is a safe place for them to kind of stretch their arms and be themselves. And the further away you get away from the bubble, the worse they get. they'll ruin a trip in Jamaica or Europe or Australia. It doesn't matter. Like I said, anger and rage travel, jealousy travels. That type of stuff doesn't just stay inside the bubble, y'all. But anyways, y'all, if you haven't already, check the Self-Love Journal out on Amazon, the Lee Hammock Self-Love on Amazon. And also May 20th, 2023, we're doing a live in-person workshop in Orlando, Florida. Area. If you're there, check it out, rawmotivations.com/coaching, or you can click the beacon link in the description of this video to check it out as well. Like and subscribe for more, y'all. Mental Illness is out. Peace.